Next up is Michael Libbie, who's putting his phone away.
No, I'm not. Thanks. Do I need to use the microphone? Is that, yeah? Okay. Great. A couple of things. Dave, where'd Dave go? Hey, Dave. I'm also from Detroit. Great city. As a matter of fact, Chrysler just released that video about your conference that was going on there, and it was very cool. Yeah, Eminem, wow, what a great story that is for Chrysler Motors, and Eminem, both in this resurrection phase, and it's a great story. My name's Michael Libbie. A couple of things that I want to ask you to do for me, okay? And I have a real reason for this. You all know your names, right? Okay. If you don't say your name. Just say, hi, your name. Don't say your name. Just say your real name. And then from 140 Des Moines. Okay? All right, hold on. Planning. It's always planning, It's always something. All right. If you are ready, go ahead and at the count of three, in 1, 2, 3.
Hi, dear number 140 without an S.
Thank you. Boy, does that work right into the whole thing? Doesn't that work right into the whole thing about confusion? and we all understand that we're at the 140 conference in Des Moines, but it does bring that confusion to bear when we start saying our names. And so you get all this jumble going on out there, and that doesn't really make any sense. Let's set this up for just a second. Who here was born after 1980? Anybody born after 1980? Okay. Who was born before 1980? Before 1970? Before 1960? Anybody born before 1955? Ooh. Huh? Okay. I'm 61 years old. I was hoping that I was going to be the oldest person here, because the old guy gets to talk about social media and at the 140 character conference and what fun that is. What we do is we have a full-service advertising agency with clients all across the country. And what we do is we talk about utilizing, among other things, Twitter and social media, Facebook, and blogs for business. And there's an interesting study that was released just 2 weeks ago from IBM. IBM said that over 300 individual marketers that they talked with said that they had to refocus their energies on social media because they were finding it didn't work as well as what they had envisioned. Now, why would that be? Why would that? What is that about? You guys know it works. I know that it works. How come other folks are saying, well, we're going to have to refocus on this? The answer is because it's not the magic bullet. It's not what you had been told it was. It is, and it does, take work. If you blog, if you push your blog out, if you're sharing useful information with people, especially if you're into creating original content, wow, it takes some work. I know my day starts at 5:30 in the morning, and I write for about 3 hours for my show. So when we're talking about what's in advertising and marketing and what's consumer trends, getting to know what those types of things are so that we can create original content and push it out on this magical stream. Who, up until maybe 8 years ago, I thought a Technorati tag was something that they played in Japan. I didn't know. But that's new to all of us, So what is it about social media that's so hard to understand for most people? And this is it. I don't want anybody that I talk to, and almost everybody that I talk with, all across this great country when I go out and speak, are in the 95% category. 95%. 70% of the people in any given room that I'm speaking with about social media right away go, yeah, it's not for me. It's a bunch of stuff. I don't want to do this kind of thing. This doesn't make any sense. 20% will leave that conference and go, yeah, I think maybe I can do this. And they'll keep it up for 6 weeks, and then they'll shut her down. 5% get it. And that's when people say to me, well, Michael, aren't you afraid that if you tell everybody how to utilize social media for their business, that you're not going to have business for your advertising agency? No, because 95% don't get it or won't work it. So I've still got a huge base. It takes work and it takes effort and it takes an understanding, I think, of how to do these things. Just like Dave said, this is a conversation. There's the social part of the media that we get to do. We call it the 80-20 rule. 80% of what I talk about is talk. I mean, 20% might be sales. And I think that's an important thing to remember. It might even be higher. It may even be 85% what I had for breakfast. But that's how we make and build beautiful relationships. We've got friends all over the world that we have never met, not one time. And we have these endearing conversations in social media. 3 years ago, I couldn't have asked any of those people for a reference for our business. I couldn't have asked any of those people to talk about something that I was interested or learn what they're interested in. And now I have that knowledge and that relationship with people that can make a difference. That's the secret of all of this stuff. That's what we have to build on. Just like Dave just said, knowing who you are as an individual is vitally important, but we can't get so lost into the business of social media that we lose our identity at the same time. It takes work. So how do we become not the 95%er? I'm probably speaking to the choir. How many of you all use Twitter for your business? Some don't? Wow. All right, here we go. Ready? By the way, if you you all use hashtags, don't you? Okay. If you go, not now, please, but in just a little bit, if you go to hashtag 140 conference DM, 140, there's going to be you'll find a PDF there. It's Twitter for Business. Okay, we downloaded that earlier today. Isn't it great to forward out your tweets? Makes you look like you're doing something. I mean, I have to be careful. I'm an Orthodox Jew. And so when we don't work like on Friday sundown till Saturday on sundown. And so I'm always guilty if I forward out my tweets on Saturday, because I know my rabbi's sitting around someplace, that son of a gun's working. What's he doing working? It's going to go hell. All right, here we go. Ha, 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 Rabbi. I get it, you don't. All right. So how do you not fall into the 95% category? Number one, I think this is so critical. It's discipline. It is putting together a discipline in your social media strategy. And that's the key word, too, is strategy. You have to know where you're going. You have to understand the plan. What are you trying to get out of this? If it's just about that you had a double latte, frappe, whatever, at Starbucks at 7 o'clock in the morning, that's fine. If that's what you want to do. But if you're going to use this for business, you have to have a strategy. Where are you going? What's your end game with this? Is it to sell more product? Is it to be able to be introduced to more people? Is it to build relationships with individuals who are important to you out there in the field? If it is, focus on that and build your strategy to build your business. I just read an article the other day. It said, successful social media strategy in 30 minutes or less. You got to be kidding. Maybe I'm old, but I don't, the thought process doesn't even kick in until 15 minutes, and then I've only left 15 minutes to do this. You have to budget your time correctly. You have to work on it when you can best do it. And the great thing about the technology that we have in social media, you can do that all week long. If you blog once a week, and I hope everyone here is blogging, if you blog once a week, you're taking notes for the rest of the week. We blog on a daily basis, and there's something always out there. You keep these notes, you keep this adventure stream going, so that you have some things to talk about during the week. And so the first thing is to budget your time. You know, if it's going to be an hour and a half a day, it's an hour and a half a day. Maybe it takes you 30 minutes to go ahead and do the research. Look back at your notes. Please keep notes about important things that you read or that you're watching. Bookmark those kinds of things that you see come across. And then start to build your blog from that, and then push it out along with the conversation utilizing Twitter. We tell everybody that if they're not blogging, they don't have a voice. And if you don't tweet, I wish I had named this. Don't you feel funny being a tweep? If you don't tweet, nobody knows you. Nobody can share who you are. And it's a fantastic thing. Budgeting the time, understanding the commitment to original content, and then broadcasting that original content in all kinds of ways to your friends, the people that you have made a difference with. Now, I carry, I think, 4 or 5 different Twitter handles. I know, it's crazy. For depending on what I'm doing and depending on what it is. You know, I have that's why I love the John Deere stuff. You know, I'm originally from Detroit, but I spent a lot of time on the farm, and most of our clients are in the agricultural world. So I get that opportunity on my rural life radio side to talk about agriculture, and we do one for our agency blog, and then I have a personal Twitter address. And so all of those things rolled into one. You know, there's thousands of people across this great country and around the world that I've come to know and appreciate. So back again, how not to be a 45 or 95%er, budget your time, have a strategy, and finally, make sure that whatever it is that you're putting out is original content. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good to see you.
That's good.